Hallelujah, everyone. Welcome to this week training class. This week we're going to treat how to take measurements of a male garment, specifically four corner of a male garment. To start with, when taking male measurements, you bring your tape to your shoulder. From your shoulder, bring it down to your desired length. Normally it's supposed to be at the ankle, but some people want it to be longer than that. I've told you that earlier. So it depends on where you want it to get to. So from the shoulder to that place. But one thing I want you to notice, you bring it through your front view, not the back. From here, straight. We're still coming to the practical anyway. From here, straight down to wherever you want the length to be. So after that, bring it to the back. It comes to your back measurements. You bring it to the back. Remember I've told you I prefer taking the measurements halfway, not from here to here. So you bring it to the back, to the neck region here, and hinge after your shoulder blade. That's the back measurements for the male, even for female. But now we're dealing with male measurements. So you bring it and hinge after your shoulder blade. From where it stopped, you put your tape back there and bring it to the wrist or desired sleeve length, wherever you want your sleeve to be. We don't really have much to talk about while talking about male measurements. So this is one of our trainings. We want to practicalize what I explained earlier, that is male measurements. So to start with, to get the length of your male garment, put your tape measure here, bring it down to your desired length, wherever you want. Some people ankle, some after the ankle. I think I've told you that earlier, and that will give us the length of the male garments. So sorry. Now we want to take the back measurements. The back measurements start from here. If you like, you can choose this from an inch above shoulder to an inch above shoulder. But I prefer from here, neck region. This is half of the body. This is the shoulder blade, then an inch after the shoulder blade. This is 9. Wherever this stops, this is your back measurement. Our back measurement is 9. From that 9, bring your tape back there and bring it down to wherever you want your sleeve length to be. And that is how to take the male garments measurement. Nothing more. We're still coming to brother garments. When we get to that, we show us how to measure neck region. Now let's take the half length to know where to position your pockets here. That is why we're taking the half length with the body. Our half length is 17. So this will help you to know where to put your pockets while sewing. And that is all. Thank you. Now we've explained how to take the measurements of male garments, then we've practicalized it. Now we want to go into cutting. So if you want to cut male garments, I want you to make use of a baby or a year-old boy. Let's assume this is our garment, our material, sorry. Let's say this is 3 yards of the material. If you want to cut, you make use of this self edge. That is where you measure your length, no matter how long the person is. And that's the reason we make use of 4 yards for a grown-up man. A baby or a year-old can't be taller or longer than 21 for babies. Then for like a year-old, like 24. So let me use 24 as length measurements. You can see the way I fold it. So this is her 24. Now you had 4 inches that we will fold after sewing. You fold like 4 or 3 inches inside. Let me add 4 inches to the 24, making 28. This is 28. 28 for the length. The back of a year-old, usually between 5.5 and 6. 5.5 from the half region to here, meaning that will be 11 or 12, as from here to here. This is the back measurements of a year-old. Let's add 2 inches for sewing. 1 here, 1 here. Okay. When I was explaining taking measurements in our first class, I make mention of placing of fold. This is what we call place on fold. I said back of babies. I said a year-old boy. Back of a year-old boy can't be mostly back of a year-old is between 5.5 and 6. Some might be more than that, but basically between 5.5 and 6 we'll add our sewing allowance to it. So instead of making use of that 6 that is the back measurements, let me add an inch to it, making 7 altogether. 7, 7, 7. I will cut it out. This is the body of our garment, both front and back. I hope we get the cutting. If there's any question, you can drop it in the comment section. So after that, you make the armhole. Let's take the armhole. You remember I told you when I was explaining taking of measurements that when we get to cutting stage, we'll explain better on the armhole. So armhole of babies is usually 5.5 for a year-old. Now I'm making use of 5.5. From that armhole, bring it here. This will give us the measurements of. So now let's go to armhole. How to get our armhole? It varies from babies to grown-ups. For babies, it's usually between 5.5 and 6. For a year-old, I will make use of 5.5. For grown-ups, it may be up to 9, 10, 11. It varies. When we get to that, when we get to the bridge, we'll close it. So the armhole of a year-old, let me make use of 5.5. We pencil it. From where your armhole stops, bring it here. This will give you the measurement of the side flare. We generally known as abe in Yoruba language. We call it abe. Side flare. That is what we will join to the side of the garment to make it free for our men. So the measurement here is 22 and a half. I think we need to jot it down. So the length of the baby boy is 24. The back is I said 6. If I could remember, I said 6. The sleeve. The sleeve is usually 10. Or let me make use of 9. Babies 9. Yeah. So now, when I measure from here to here to give us the measurements for the side flare, it gives us 22 and a half. We're still coming to that. I want to cut the side flare out. I said the side flare's measurement is 22 and a half. I want to cut it out. 22 and a half divided by 2 gives me 11 and a point. No, 11 and quarter. Actually, you can cut it out straight without folding other way around. You can easily cut it out like this and measure your 22 and a half out. The weight, yes, for babies, we normally make use of 10. That is 5. Then divided by 2 is 5. So 5. And 5. Yeah, after that, we cut it out. I want to cut out the shape of the side flare. Just you form a cone. This must be equal to this place must be equal to this place. Let's measure it out. This gives us 9. This 9.5. So that means it's not yet equal. Yes, nice. 9. And this is our side flare. It's not yet full. To make it easier for you when sewing it, just do it like this and you cut the excess ones. This makes it look straight and easier to sew. This is our side flare. One here, one here. Now let's cut the sleeve. The measurement of the sleeve I wrote down is 9. Remember, there's a folding here. For babies, you fold in like 2.5, 3 inches, but normally it shouldn't be less than 3 inches for grown-ups. So because we are cutting for a year old, the sleeve measurement is 9 inches. And now I want to add 2.5 to it. Remember, if you want to sew, always add your sewing allowance, half up, half down, making 1 inch. So 9 plus 1 inch, that is 4. That is 10. 10 plus that 3 inches you want to fold in, that gives us 13. So now we are cutting 13 out for sleeve. 13. And the roundness for babies, I will use 5. 5 is very okay for babies. 10. Remember sewing allowance. So that 5, add 1. You can add half an inch, and you can add 1. But I will add 1 inch to it, making 6 inches. 6 inches. That 1 is our sewing allowance. 5 is the round sleeve of the sleeve. Of the baby boy. And I cut it out. The sleeve measurement is 9 plus the half I want to use as sewing allowance. That will be 9.5. You mark it out. That shows you where to turn in when sewing, notch it. So when you are sewing, you don't need to start measuring again. You already know where to fold it in. And cut this piece out. So here is our sleeve. If you want to fold this piece, this is the sleeve. Now the facing for the neck. Remember, the body is still whole. We have to cut out the neckline. For the facing of the neckline, you can make use of 7 inches. 7 inches. And this 5 is enough for babies. This is our facing. We use this to bring out our neckline. Now, to cut out the neckline, it depends on you. I personally, I like the neckline to be choking. I like it coming up. So easily you can bend down. You feel free when it's not too exposed. So because of that, I will use 2.5 for the baby. You can use 3. 3 is not too big. 3 is still very okay, but I will use 2.5. And here 1 is okay. For the wideness, 1 is okay. Remember, we're still going to sew. When you sew, you add more half as sewing allowance. So cut it out. This is the facing. By the time we sew it out, you will see the outcome. Now for the sleeve, there's something I don't know how to call it in. I don't know the English name, but we call it tobo here. There's one additional, like square shape. Let me cut it out. When I cut it, you might be familiar with it. It also has measurements. For grown-ups, we use 4.5, like 4 or 4.5. Whatever you use here, you use it here. So for this baby boy, I want to use 3 inches and 3 inches. Remember, for an adult, it must be more than this. It shouldn't be less than 4, but you can use 4.5, 4, depending on how fat the person is. But for babies, between 3.5, between 2.5 and 3.5 is okay for babies. And cut it out. So this is for the 2 sleeves, here and here. It makes this armhole free. It won't be tight or choky. It will be free. You feel free to raise your hand to move your arm anyhow. And that is how. This is the body, the facing, the side. No, this is the sleeve. We'll put our tobo there. Sleeve and our side plate. That is all for baby.